6. Okay. Back to that Long Island Railroad pension scam in New York. Federal authorities have arrested 11 people, including 2 doctors, for the alleged scheme. Vincent Vernuccio from the American Enterprise Institute, live with us now from D.C. Now, this is a big story locally here in the New York area. I mean, there is real outrage here, Vincent. But I want you to expand this. Does it have national implications? Could we say that something similar, gaming the system at least, is common in other states as well as the Long Island Railroad? What do you say?
Well, I mean, you can see it happening across the country, but the thing is, I mean, you know, your heart has to go out to these LIRR workers. They're probably in one of the most dangerous, working for one of the most dangerous companies in the nation. I mean, one year, almost 97% of retirees retired on disability. So obviously, there's some huge safety gaps here. It's either that or, yeah, like you said, it's fraud.
But I want to get into the national implications. I'm not suggesting that fraud on this scale or of this type happens elsewhere, but surely there is a problem with disability pensions across the nation, and that you have to suspect that some are gaming the system. Now, would you go along with that? Would you go that far?
I mean, it's impossible to tell, but yeah, you could probably look at investigations. I mean, I think LIRR is the worst, but you could see how others could game the system, especially with people that really know how to work it. And, you know, the doctor last segment was talking about the doctors that were charged here. But you also got to remember there are union officials charged here also, and they know the inner workings of this. So you have to be really careful what their counterparts are doing across the country.
Now, do you think this is the union's fault? Is it?
Well, it's definitely the union officials' fault. And, you know, let me just add insult to injury here. Most of this money comes from the Railroad Retirement Board, which is funded primarily by taxes put on railroad workers. So this billion-dollar scam doesn't hurt just normal taxpayers, but it really hurts railroad workers. So, you know, there's some solidarity for you. The union is stealing. Essentially, these union officials are allowing theft from other union railroad workers.
But where was management? I mean, there are two sides of the fence here, union and management. Where was management when all this money was just flowing out there? $300 million in what appeared to be bogus disability pension payments. Now, where was management?
Management was riding along, Stuart. You know, we're not just talking about track workers that were getting these disability benefits. We're talking about desk jockeys in management. A lot of these guys were in the same scheme as the workers.
Right, but the interesting thing here, I think, is that the Federal Railway Board, which was in charge of the pensions, was separate from the MTA. Was not, so
right.
In effect, the people who were running the LIRR, the pensions, I don't believe, we should check this, was not actually their responsibility at the end of the day. So really what the decisions that were made went to the Federal Railway Board. And this, in effect, this bifurcation created the opportunity for this kind of scam.
Okay, Vincent, go ahead.
That's right, and it wasn't until the New York Times actually blew the lid off this in 2008 and showed these guys playing golf and tennis. Or I guess, like the doctor said, maybe they had a good day when the New York Times was going out there. But that spurred a GAO, a Government Accounting Office, investigation. And they said the Railroad Board was pretty sloppy in monitoring this stuff.
Okay, Vincent Vernuccio, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us again, Vincent. Good stuff.
Thanks for having me, Stuart.
All right, now the state of Connecticut.